You do not fail because the world says no. You fail because you pursue what you want with the energy of a drowning man, grabbing, clawing, forcing the future as if desperation could bend reality. You believe speed will shorten the distance. You believe pressure will force the door open. You believe urgency is the proof of commitment. Reality is colder than that. Some things only move toward you when you stop suffocating them with frantic effort. Some doors open only when your hands are steady enough to touch them. The problem is not always the closed door. Often, it is the trembling hand trying to rip it open. You call it ambition, but sometimes it is fear wearing the uniform of effort. And fear always distorts direction. You know the feeling. A goal appears. A door. A future version of yourself that feels almost reachable. A better career. A stronger body. A relationship. A life that seems one step away. But instead of calm focus, something else arrives. Pressure. You begin watching everything. Every signal. Every pause. Every reaction. A small delay suddenly feels enormous. One silence becomes a verdict. One setback becomes an identity crisis. And slowly desire begins to mutate. You are no longer pursuing. You are auditioning. Every effort feels like a test. Every delay feels like rejection. Your peace is now tied to a result that has not happened yet. Your mood rises and falls with imagined futures. The nervous system never rests, always measuring, always calculating, always comparing the present to the life you think you should already have. That is where exhaustion appears, not because effort is difficult, but because you are carrying one outcome with so much psychological weight that even walking forward feels heavy. Anything carrying that much pressure eventually crushes the one holding it. Stoicism sees the distortion clearly. Desire itself is not the danger. Attachment is. The moment you say, "I need this to happen for me to be okay," something fundamental changes. You stop being sovereign. You become dependent. Now the goal is no longer a direction. It becomes oxygen. Without it, you feel suffocated. And once that happens, your inner axis begins to bend. You call it ambition, but often it is fear wearing the clothes of drive. You call it discipline, but often it is anxiety pretending to be control. This is the hidden distortion. Stress does not control timing. Pressure does not command reality. Urgency does not force the universe to comply. It only destabilizes the mind trying to pursue. An anxious mind cannot move clearly. It rushes. It forces. It chases. And chasing breaks rhythm. But reality moves through rhythm. Growth has rhythm. Healing has rhythm. Opportunity has rhythm. And when the inner world loses alignment, even beautiful desires become sources of suffering. Marcus Aurelius governed an empire in chaos. War on the frontiers. Plague inside the cities. Political betrayal in every direction. Yet his writings reveal a striking calm. He did not demand that life move at his preferred pace. He understood a heavy truth. You do not rule life by forcing it. You rule life by ruling yourself. This is Stoic gravity. A person with inner weight does not trade their throne for a result. They do not panic when timing resists them. They do not collapse because reality refuses to move on command. They move from order, not hunger, from discipline, not desperation, from structure, not craving. That is why they become powerful. They cannot be rushed into self-betrayal. Stoicism draws a line of iron. On one side is what belongs to you. On the other is what never will. What belongs to you? Effort, discipline, judgment, conduct, the quality of your next action. What does not belong to you? Timing, outcomes, other people's responses, the weather around your ambition. Most people run a failed economy. They neglect discipline while trying to govern the weather. They abandon inner order to manipulate outcomes. That is why their pursuit becomes weak. Because the mind is divided, half focused on effort, half obsessed with result. But Stoicism simplifies the equation. You control the arrow, not the wind. You control preparation, not the outcome. You control action, not the destination. Detachment, therefore, is not surrender. It is not passivity. It is purification. You still want the goal. You still move toward it. You still labor seriously, but you no longer kneel before it. Your peace is no longer conditional. You stop demanding stability from what was never yours to command. And in that shift, something remarkable happens. Your action becomes cleaner, more focused, more sustainable, more powerful, because now you act without fear. Picture this: amber sunset. A trembling fist closing around water. The harder the hand squeezes, the faster the water escapes. Not because the water is cruel, but because its nature rejects force. Life behaves the same way. Love, growth, healing, timing, opportunity. Some things do not open under pressure. They distort. They disappear. Now imagine something else. A lighthouse standing above the sea. The tide comes. The tide goes. Storms rise. Storms disappear. But the lighthouse does not chase the waves. It does not shout at the tide. It stands, steady, radiating, unmoved by urgency. That is the image of strength, not frantic pursuit. Presence, not violence. Weight, not panic. Form. You do not need less desire. You need a cleaner way to carry it. One desire without dependence. Keep the goal in your sight, but never let it become the leash around your neck. Want deeply. Work honestly. Move seriously, but never make the outcome the condition for your peace. 2. The sovereignty of the present. A future built on a frantic present is a house built on sand. Return to the step in front of you. This breath, this action, this decision, this hour. Power lives here, not in imagined tomorrows. 3. Respect the rhythm. Not every door opens because you break it down. Some doors open only when you are calm enough to walk through them. Act fully. Prepare seriously, but stop trying to drag reality by the throat. Strength is not forcing timing. It is being ready when timing arrives. The world will not always move at your tempo. There will be silence. There will be delays. There will be seasons that look like stillness while something deeper is being prepared. This is not always failure. Sometimes it is a test of your structure. So, stop chasing like a starving man. Pursue like a sovereign. Act without panic. Wait without collapse. Move without kneeling. Let the goal matter, but never let it rule you. Because the real victory is not only achieving what you wanted. It is becoming someone who can hold it without fear, enjoy it without attachment, and lose it without losing yourself. If these words have awakened a quiet stillness in you, perhaps we will meet again on the next road.